Hey there guys, Aldershot here, and today we're going to take a look at Broken Age. Just got released on Steam a few days ago, and this is Tim Schafer's original KickStarter project. Really the project that started the whole crowdsource crowdfunding phenomenon that's been kind of really been launching the whole indie game scene for the last year or so. So it's pretty exciting to see this finally released. Now this is a very story-driven game, so I don't want to spend too long talking about this game. So I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible, so I can reduce the spoilers and such. So let's just continue with the game that we got going now. So when you do get into this game, you know, you don't have to repeat the opening scene. You do decide that you like the game, because I really don't like it when reviews or impressions go over the beginning of the game, as you're guaranteed to play that part and it can get a little bit repetitive. You already seen it. But anyways, let's get into it. As we mentioned, it is a story-driven game, and it's kind of a point-and-click game, which is something that Tim Schafer is sort of known for, especially in his heyday. And as you can see, the graphic styling is very, very interesting, to say the least. Beautiful art style, very unique indeed. Has a storybook kind of appeal and aesthetic to it. And when you first start off the game, again, I don't want to ruin too much of the story, but it does feel very childlike in a lot of ways, and I think they're going for sort of a storybook sort of feeling to it. But as you progress through the game, it does get a little bit darker, the tone gets a little bit more serious, new twists into the story happen and as such. But again, I don't want to ruin too much of it, as right now I'm playing one of two characters that's available in this game. This guy's named Shay. Alright, and you know, he's a boy in a spaceship, and he kind of goes through a mundane, futuristic spaceship life until some interesting things happen to him. Anyways, so I'll show you an example of the point and click, so you can kind of click on a wolf, on the wolf here, a character, and you select what dialogue tree you want to use.
Take down the ship's shields again.
Place the Omicron inhibitor I gave you over the fusion orb, and when the time is right, we'll turn it on and turn off the fusion orb.
Along with the ship's shields.
So there you go, guys. A bit of the voice acting. I just want to show you a little bit of that. Because the voice acting, I gotta say, is actually pretty good.
Yes,
from what I've seen so far.
Won't last forever.
You can definitely tell that they've hired quality voice actors, for sure. The music's really good in this game as well, what music there is. And this game actually features two characters. And the character storyline do actually cross, and they have an effect on each other. I haven't actually finished the game yet. I'm about an hour and a half in, something like that. And you can actually right click, and as you pick up items, you can use the items. You can, you know, click it, and then it'll tell you a little bit about what it's all about.
Fusion orb. Wait, are you doing this on purpose?
There you go. And you can right click it, you can drag it. Let's take this. You can drag it on yourself, maybe you can do something with it yourself, depending on the scene and the puzzle that's involved. It is a little bit puzzle oriented, where you kind of have to gain items and use those items to progress through the game, and you kind of have to figure out what item is appropriate for what situation.
Merrick told me to use this on the fusion orb, not that.
There you go, some example of, you know, wrongfully using the items. So you can start off with either Isaac or the female character here. I started with Isaac, but you can actually switch between them at any time. And there you go, that's my female character. I'm saying female character because I forgot her name. So forgive me for that. So, you know, they both play the same.
Those don't look like Jessie's. Better leave them alone.
The same mechanics, right click, pick up items, use the items to solve puzzles and such. Now, again, I don't want to get too far into the story. I don't really want to progress through the game because I don't want to ruin anything for you guys, because I'm enjoying it so far. It does feature a very interesting story. And again, it does kind of start off a little bit childish, but as it progresses, it gets a little bit more interesting, let's just say. Some darker undertones start showing up, which is actually pretty interesting. A good twist to the story.
Good to see you. Hey, that's my knife. Good
There
thing
you
it
go.
didn't land on anybody.
So I'm supposed to get the knife, see if I can use the ladder, and yeah, looks like I can. And now I can pick up the
my mom's
knife.
special ceremonial knife.
There we go. And climb back down the ladder. That's generally how the puzzles work. Now I picked up this ladder from a kid from another scene. So again, you have to gain items to use it, to solve other puzzles, to gain more items, to progress through the game. That's essentially how the game works. Again, it's very story driven, and that will be the key element that will drive you to continue playing through the game. I think the switching between the two character mechanic is actually pretty interesting. I do like that quite a bit, actually. Great character design, wonderful art design, I have to say. Now I want to talk about who the audience this game's trying to appeal to a little bit. Now, if you're into like Call of Duty or like military shooters, or even you know, like Warframe maybe, or any game that's more mechanically driven as far as, you know, the traditional idea of a game, then this game might not really suit your fancy, let's just say.
What's wrong?
The game really plays out more like an interactive movie in a lot of ways. But anyone who's played point-and-click adventure would expect this already. Alright, now some people might argue that this isn't a game at all, instead it's an interactive movie, just like a lot of the point-and-click kind of adventure games. But I don't know, it really depends on the person you ask. I would still call it a game. It's just not what you would traditionally consider, or what you would traditionally think about when you talk about a game. And that's fine, it's just a different genre, it's just a different style, and that's the way I look at it, right?
Son, I'm not sure it's safe enough for you to leave your room.
Tired of being a
That's
prisoner.
the mother computer of
Sick
this
being
ship,
a prisoner on this ship.
who pretty much plays as your overprotective mother, but who's actually a program designed to protect you on the ship. And you being Shay, a person who lived in the ship under the mother computer's control for so long, is sort of trying to break free of her control. Okay? That's as much of the story I really want to get into, because again, I don't want to spoil anything, and it is very story driven.
I've heard the story of
So,
sacrifice
just for the sake of keeping this
times.
video short, I'll do my summary of the game. It is very enjoyable. It is very story driven. I am enjoying the story so far. The controls are pretty simple, point and click sort of thing.
I'm sorry they
And
broke the
yeah,
sequence
but if you're
sound.
into more mechanically driven games, again, this game might not interest you. So you're, you know, if you're not into more just storybook or story-driven or narratively driven kind of interactive stories or video games or anything like that, it might not suit your fancy. But nonetheless, it is still a quality product. Whether you call it a game or not, I think we can all agree that this is still interactive media, and you know, let's just call it that for now. As far as interactive media is concerned, this is some of the highest quality I've seen. Art style, the sound design, the story so far, the characters, all very well done. The voice acting, it's a wonderful game, I have to say. I am enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to finishing it so I can figure out what exactly is going on in the story. Alright, well, that's about it. We'll switch to the female in our final closing statements, just for the sake of variety. Well, again, that's about it, guys. If you enjoy this, if you found this useful or informative or enjoyable in any way, please consider sending me some love. Share, fave, like, comment, all that stuff. But most importantly, please subscribe, as I'm still a very small channel that's still growing. So feed me my vegetables, blah 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 blah. I forgot how to speak for a second. Feed me my vegetables, subscribe, and help me grow. Thanks, guys. All the shout out.
Last time I checked.